Riley, when it came down to the stretch, you were one of the key players who hit those free throws, but also hit that shot. I guess, what was your mentality, I guess, and also, too, what were you thinking when you were watching that layup go in at the last second?
I wasn't really thinking about anything. I was just so in the moment, and I wanted to win so bad for this team. We worked so hard, and after the tough loss last Saturday, it hit us hard mentally and physically. Like, our team was drained. It's been hard to get back up and go to practice after something like that, and I just wanted it so bad. It could have been me or anybody else, and it would have been the same reaction. Like, anybody on this team deserves something like that. We deserve this win. I'm so proud of my girls.
And it was a total team effort. You guys had multiple lineups and some lineups that we haven't even seen all season. I guess just speaking to that and the toughness and anybody to do anything for their teammates, is that just really the big thing for you guys, camaraderie-wise, is to really just have each other's back no matter who's in the game?
Yes, I think everybody's going to fight for each other. We love each other on and off the floor so much, and I'm going to do anything for this team, and that's how everybody else is. And so we want to win every single night, and if it means double overtime, triple overtime, we're going to do it and try to get it done.
You guys tired?
Yeah, exhausted, to be honest.
Seriously, though, going from a triple overtime to a double overtime, in a weird way, is there some sort of advantage to having that kind of fresh off your mind and knowing that you guys can go to those distances?
Yes, honestly, that's what a lot of us girls were talking about when, like, the first five went out in the huddle. They were just telling each other, like, we've been here. We just were here. Like, we did it before. And we knew what the outcome feels like when you get a loss in overtime, and it's not fun. When you lay everything out on the line, you want to get that win. And I just knew from the beginning of overtime, like, our team was locked in. No matter how long it took, we were going to get this dub.
And for you to be able to go there and make that play off the Big Cat's inbound, I guess, what were you seeing off that inbound, and especially from Big Cat, who made that huge play right beforehand?
Definitely, I knew we were trying to throw a lob to just get a quick shot because we were down one, and I just turned, and I was going to end up fouling or go for a steal anyways, and it just happened to bounce right to me, and honestly, it was like crazy. Like, I couldn't believe it was right there, and I just knew I had to score it, get that bucket for us, and I was just so excited and so ready for that moment of relief for our team to get a big win. We needed it really bad.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it, but just after the stretch y'all have had the past couple weeks, how is the feeling to, end that losing streak?
It feels good. Our team works so hard every day. Like I said, we practice for hours. We rep out so many different things. And just like our last game, everybody sees how long we can go, and that's how our practices are. Like, they're intense. We try to do everything the right way. And so to go on a losing streak, it's tough. It's tough mentally, and it can bring a team down. But I think our team does such a good job of staying together, staying connected. And we want to extend our season. We want a postseason, and that's just what we're aiming for right now. Recovery will just be a lot of treatment, contrast, hot tub, cold tub, and some people get massages, and those are nice. Nice. I think that's a good point. Thank you.
Y'all can get her. Jared, do you want to get Riley? Do you want to get Riley?
She went already.
Oh,
She went while you were ready.
almost choked, y'all. Sorry. She went already. Okay, got you. I thought you said she wasn't ready.
No, she went already. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, y'all. Sorry.
Nobody's rolling here.
I almost choked. I know, right?
Okay. Same deal. Take a quick opening statement from Coach, and then we'll wait for Lex to pass the mic for questions. Ariel, and then we'll go to Andrew. Coach, quick opening statement.
What resiliency our kids have, and I'm so proud for them. They deserve that. They needed a win like that. They needed some positive, just some positive things to happen for them. They've been fighting really, really hard, and that was an ugly game. The first half, I didn't even recognize our team. We did not come out of the gates. I don't know what was happening, but at halftime, obviously I think we got their attention a little bit, and I thought Kat really led the charge in the third quarter to put us on her back and to say, hey, we're not going down like this. And she really led us that direction. And then we had so many people step up. Bree and Bryn both were coming off of some injuries, and they shot the ball like they were coming off some injuries, But I loved that they had some help. Tonight they had some help with, some people stepped up and really tried to be warriors for them. I thought Saga played some really good defense for us. Ashley Chevalier gave us a spark off the bench and defended well, and then gave us a couple of buckets that just, caught them off guard, I think, a little bit, gave us some energy. And then obviously Riley. I mean, we can't go without talking about Riley, and just, she's got ice in her veins, and she just really did a great job at the very end of really just helping us get the victory. So I'm super proud of this team. West Virginia's a really good basketball team, and they're going to win a lot of games, and they are winning a lot of games, and that was big for us.
First off, Coach, you and overtimes are like best friends for the past couple.
I'm exhausted.
Between like last night and now.
I wonder if I get paid for overtime.
Exactly. But going off of the overtimes, with you guys going deep in the trenches like that, playing those extra minutes, do you think that's going to help prepare you guys for the bigger picture, especially when you're thinking about the Big 12 tournament, which is only a couple weeks away?
Yeah, I mean, for one thing, I think we know that we can play extended minutes, right? And so even if it's like back-to-back days or something like that, we can put some things together. But also, I just love the fight in our girls. They know that the game's not over, and they're not afraid to play extra minutes. I did think that when it went into the first overtime, obviously they were distraught a little bit, but the second overtime I saw a little bit of oh no, here we go again, and I thought they gathered themselves up and they really fought and found a way to win. So yeah, I mean we're going to take positives from everything that we can this time of year.
And then when Big Cat made that effort to lunge her body really to get that jump ball, I guess from your perspective, what were you thinking? And I mean, we talked about how her role on this team has different variety of it. I guess like seeing her do that, is that why she came here in the first place?
I actually just told the girls, because at halftime the last thing I said to them, if you're not going to fight, then don't come out of the locker room. And Kat led the way, and I just told the girls that's exactly why she's here, is to give us that grit, give us that toughness, and show this program and this team how they're supposed to leave it all out on the floor, and you do everything you can within the time frame of the game for your team, and whatever that is, if that's getting a block, if that's taking a charge, if that's diving on the floor with a loose ball, or if it's making a jump ball. At the timeout, we had told them, like, we're trying to trap it. If we don't trap it, if we don't steal it, we do need to foul them, but we want to try to tie it up first. And so they knew that we had the possession arrow, and I just thought, they passed it a couple of times, and I didn't think we were going to be able to catch them, and then Kat got her hands on it and was really, really smart and made a great play.
You just mentioned at halftime what you guys were able to do. That third quarter was night and day when it came to defense. Was that just, mentally you guys saying enough is enough, let's go out there and ball?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, I think, we just said, hey, we're manning up. You got to man them. We've got to defend our own better. You have to fight. You got to have more pride in your individual defense, and then we got to help each other. I mean, clearly they've got some athletes and some guards that they can take us off the bounce, and so we really had to help each other. And I thought Big Jazz did a great job of helping us ice those ball screens, and she didn't get taken off the dribble too bad whenever there was a switch that occurred. So I just thought they bought in so much harder and so much with more intensity on the defensive end.
That possession that West Virginia had where Big Cat forced the jump ball, was she supposed to be all the way up at the key like that, or was that just right place, right time for her?
She was on a man, and then whenever we trapped, she was rotating out of it because she was trying to rotate to the ball. And so, yeah, I mean, we were having to like I said, we were either trying to tie it up or foul them because we didn't have time to waste. They weren't going to have to shoot it.
And then that inbound play right there was, can you just walk us through what you drew up in that huddle going into it?
Yeah, well, for one thing, it wasn't a huddle because we didn't have any timeouts. And so we talked to him about running our reverse play, but moving it up. It's a sideline out of bounds, but we tried to move it up the floor. There were 6 seconds left, and to be quite honest, you really don't have to have 6 seconds to try to run that. That's for a low clock. And I actually turned and looked at Kat and I said, we don't have to throw that. Like, we have 6 seconds. Like, we can get to the rim. We're in bonus. We can get to the free throw line, whatever. Kat was throwing it. I could see it in her eyes. And we set a good pick, and I thought Bryn did a pretty good job of, holding. There's 2 of them switched back to her, and she kind of did a pretty good job where they at least had to go up out of control to get the ball. It wasn't just a clean catch. And for them to come back and throw it back in bounds and Riley to be right there and to have enough about her to gather herself and make the layup instead of like being so, high strung or whatever or panicked that she threw it up there. I thought it was just a great play.
Quarterback Big Cat right
That's
there.
right. That's exactly right. She can throw that for sure.
But you kind of just touched upon it there too. For Riley to be able to have that wherewithal to, find the ball and compose herself enough to put on that big shot. What's that say about her, especially being an underclassman on this team?
Yeah. Well, we know that Riley is a big time player. Like she plays in big moments, and she does a really great job in big moments of keeping her composure. What I loved about Riley tonight is she knew in the fourth quarter that we really needed her offense and we really needed Ashley's defense. And so every time there was a dead ball, she would look at me and be like, "You're sending her for me, right?" I mean, like she knew. And that's when you know that they're bought into the team win, is that they're not mad that they're getting taken out, that they're not mad that coach doesn't think I can play defense. That's not the case. It's right now we need the best defender that we can get on this guard. And Ashley was the same way. She wasn't getting mad that we were taking her out because we were putting a better shooter on the floor. I mean, that's their roles. And I just thought that tonight, Riley shot the ball well. She understood her role, and she didn't play a ton of minutes. I mean, I don't know what it was. Well, 21. I mean, that's a good amount of minutes, but she's used to playing a lot, and so I'm just proud of them. There's so many kids that stepped up, and I was both overtimes without Bree or just one overtime without Bree. One, yeah. I mean, and that's tough. I mean, she's our go-to player, right? We put the ball in her hands a lot, so I thought our kids did a great job of stepping up around her.
Coach, while we were waiting, I overheard you guys just celebrating in the locker room. What are some of the emotions you guys are feeling right now, especially after losing 4 in a row?
Yeah. For one thing, I was super emotional after the game on the court. Like I could barely get myself together just because I was just so happy for these girls. And I got, I thought I was going to start bawling right there. And then we obviously, take some time and talk to our fans and thank them for being out there. And we always, I tell them this, you celebrate every victory because they're so hard to get. At this level, they are so hard to get. And I had to kind of gather myself and kind of take a deep breath because I didn't have any energy to celebrate. And I get after them about that too. I'm like, I don't care. Like, we know what it feels like in that locker room after a loss, and we're going to find the energy to celebrate. So lots of emotions. Everybody's exhausted, but it's a fantastic exhaustion.
And then when West Virginia went on that 13-0 run in the first quarter and then the 10-0 run in the second quarter, what was kind of the message to the team to kind of fight back?
Yeah. Well, I took an early timeout and got after them pretty good. At halftime, I laid into them at halftime because that's just not who they are, and that's not who they want to be. And I know they have so much fight in them. And, that this is the lesson that I want them to learn is this is what basketball has done for me. This is what athletics does for us, is that you're going to come up against adverse situations, and you're going to get beat down, and you're going to get beat down, and you're going to get beat down, but you cannot stay down. Life, you cannot stay down. Life isn't fair, and it's about you continuing to get up and swinging. And I think that they've learned that. That they thought they learned that tonight. If you go back 2 games to where we played OU, I was super disappointed in our effort and our fight, and we talked about that at length when we got back. And I thought you saw so much fight in them against Oklahoma State. And for them to not get that win, it could have been really, really, really easy for them to lay down, and that's what it was looking like to me at the beginning of the game. And I'm just not going to allow them to do that. And they're going to learn for much bigger battles in their life than a basketball game of how to get up and fight. And I hope that's what they take away from it.
How important were Big Jazz's offensive production, especially early when y'all were, struggling to get things going?
Yeah. Part of our game plan was to go inside. We didn't feel like they could match up with our bigs as well as, we couldn't match up with their guards very much. So we had to counter some things. And so Big Jazz and Ella and Big Cat all had to really, and even Kyla had to take had to take the reins on that. You know, I thought Big Jazz had the best success because she's a tough matchup problem, and I thought she played within herself. It was tough on the boards at times, you know, because we thought she should have been rebounding a little bit better than she was, but I thought that she kept in there, she kept trying, and she did what she does, which is put the ball in the basket for us deep in the paint.
And what can a win like this, so close to the conference tournament, do for y'all moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, so many things. I mean, first of all, you know, it's so much easier to get up tomorrow when you've won. So practice tomorrow will be much better, you know, and our outlook will be much better. We'll have some good energy. Also, it just gives you some confidence, you know. I think just going into the conference tournament, when we get to the conference tournament, it's going to be a battle for anybody, any matchups, because everyone is beating everyone. And I just think that, you know, obviously the more success we can have right now and we can build up our confidence and stack some success, that's going to provide some dividends for us going into the conference tournament.
And going off of that, Coach, we found out about halfway through that second overtime that for the first time since 2008, it was the first time a Power 5 school has played back-to-back overtimes. And how fitting is it with the Big 12? And going off of what you said, I guess how classic of a Big 12 battle is this to showcase that this conference has some of the best women's basketball in the country?
Yeah, I do think the Big 12 is such a tough conference. And every night, everyone knows they have to show up for a fight and for a physical battle. I mean, there are bodies flying everywhere. There are kids that are just playing their hearts out. I mean, it's physical. And I just think that it shows that any given night, somebody can get beat and somebody can win and there can be an upset. So I just am proud of our kids for showing that fight tonight and for representing, you know, Texas Tech in a really great way and just getting us some positive momentum going, you know, into Baylor.
Ashley Chevalier is such a hard worker, and you could tell after the game how much this one meant to her. To see her play the way she did and hit some really big buckets and really big times, what did it mean to you as her coach?
Yeah, I'm proud of Ashley. You know, I think she's trying to find her way and trying to find her role on this team, and it's discouraging at times, right? You don't get in a game, you know, on one night, and then you come in the next night and you might be used a little bit here and there, and you might not be used at all. I mean, it's tough, and it's tough for those kids to understand. But she took advantage of her moment today, and I really am proud of her for that. Like, she came in and she played hard, and she gave us a spark. She did what we asked her to do, and even a couple of times offensively, you know, we told her to take the ball to the basket because 11 was in foul trouble, and she was guarding her, and she did exactly that. So really proud of her fight and effort, and you know, I know that it was emotional for her because she's been waiting for her moment, you know, and I thought this was a really good time for her to step up and take advantage of it.
Do you have anything else for Coach?
Thank you, guys.